many celebrities have had to sacrifice people close to them, and we thought we knew why, but the reason was far darker. Very few people know this, but Kylie Jenner's close circle was affected, and she never dared to talk about it. Her hairstylist and her best friend both died mysteriously at just 34 years old. There was also DaBaby, who saw his father die the very same day he reached #1 on the charts, as if it was the price to pay. I've rarely seen something that strange. And we can't forget Michael Jordan, one of the greatest figures of all time. Yet at the peak of his career, his father was murdered. The most well-known and shocking case is Kanye West and his mother, Donda West. He says it himself in this video.
I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. It's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed. You understand? Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy, right?
A few years ago, there was Diana, Princess of Wales, who died tragically in a car crash. And strangely, her companion also died shortly after. When you know what the princess was trying to do, you realize how unusual it is. And the worst might be what happened to Mariah Carey. She lost her sister and her mother on the same day while her career was taking off. That alone is disturbing. Every time it seems to happen right when they are about to become famous. But is it really a coincidence, or is something else hiding behind all of this? I know the list goes on, so tell me in the comments if I missed any.
What do you think?
Okay, so a few months ago, I saw this guy in the middle of the ocean, and he was just standing there looking around. This is how far out it was. And then I look a little bit closer at my footage, and look what I see. Like, look at this dolphin. And this has to be Gerald. Watch this. Have you ever seen dolphins do this? So now it all makes sense. Like, look at this dolphin. He's, like, floating on his back. Like, Gerald definitely would do something weird like that. So what I'm thinking happened is they recruited that guy that's in the ocean, and now they're, like, happy because he probably built them an underwater city, and it's, like, floating on their backs now. Dolphins only do that when they're happy and they're, like, playing around. The whole thing was just weird, though, because after I saw the guy, he just completely disappeared, and he never even came out of the water. I didn't know if I was going crazy, so I asked people at the beach if they saw him, and they said yeah, and then they saw him go underwater, and they never saw him come again. And now with the whole Gerald thing coming out, it all makes sense. He was definitely helping them build an underwater city.
Let me find out, man. Jared was... that guy wasn't the only person that Gerald took, bro. Do you guys really think, man, a man built an underwater city for the dolphins? If we don't see proof, man, I'm gonna have to go cap on it. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, check out this amazing video of what looks like a NASA alien recovery van. Spotted in Florida, guys. That's right, in Orlando, Florida, guys. It was spotted at a hotel parking lot, and it was bouncing up and down. No one knows why it was bouncing. We can't tell if the video is actually real or possibly just, you know, some type of AI generated video. We're still going to label it as AI, but it could be real. It's going around the internet, it's trending. Some van that says alien recovery on it, like if there's an alien inside fighting against the staff that's trying to transport it. Could that be a possibility? Whose van is this, guys? Does this belong to NASA? Or is this just something completely different? There's been a lot going on in 2026 with aliens and prophecies and all sorts of stuff, but whatever this is definitely something extremely weird. Some people in the comments are saying it's aliens. Other people are saying it's NASA, that they actually have a recovery team for aliens. But whatever it is, when I first seen the video, I kind of laughed. I thought it was kind of creepy. But whether this is a hoax, or this is AI, or it's real, if it is, we have a problem. You know, with the government coming forward and saying he wants to disclose UFOs, we got people like J.D. Vance calling them demons. I mean, could the demons be inside this NASA alien recovery vehicle? And why is it driving around Florida? Has anybody else seen this van driving in the state of Florida?
Gave him the underwear before dressing in his costume at Disney World. And at the end of the day, he handed them back. And the other performers did the same.
What?
Now, they were supposed to be washed, but the next day, some of the underwear still smelled bad. And soon, workers started itching, claiming they caught lice and scabies from the dirty clothes. After months of complaints, Disney finally agreed to give workers their own underwear.
So let me get this shit. They was all sharing one pair of underwear. Disney is diabolical, man. Anything to save money. They can't even give people clean drawers, bro. It took that for them to finally buy their own to get them clean drawers, man. Bro. No words.
Please. Don't fuck, Lorenzo. Don't fuck, Lorenzo.
This is why you should never get too close to an orangutan. Because in the early 2000s, a filmmaker named Lorenzo was making a documentary on orangutans. When a dominant male got his hands on him, this orangutan began biting him all over his body and using his sheer strength to prove his dominance. Now, according to Lorenzo, this male did not want to kill him, because if he did, he would no longer be here. But in this clip, you can see the fear in Lorenzo's eyes.
No, please. Jose, me va a matar. Don't fuck, Lorenzo. Don't fuck, Lorenzo. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, por favor.
Now, Lorenzo was essentially at the mercy of this orangutan, and this encounter lasted over 3 hours long.
Me he sentido mal, ¿no? Porque primero cuando he sentido que me ha cogido ya en serio y que ha empezado a jugar conmigo, me ha estado mordiendo por todos los lados, pero sobre todo la fuerza con la que me ha cogido del cuello, que te das cuenta que te lo puedes romper solo con un gesto, ¿no? La verdad que no sé cuánto tiempo ha durado, pero ha sido, a mí me ha dejado machacado, la verdad, pero bueno, son los gajes del oficio, ¿no?
Now, thankfully, Lorenzo made it out okay and still has an active Instagram account. As always, let me know what you think.
Disney casters hate being alone on Country Bear Jamboree. Most guests see it as a charming musical throwback, but once the crowds leave and the theater goes pitch black, the atmosphere shifts from Magic Kingdom to mechanical nightmare. See, these bears aren't your typical modern robot. They are a complex web of 1970s pneumatic and hydraulic systems. To keep them running today, Imagineers actually had to harvest parts from the retired animatronics at Splash Mountain and perform a mechanical surgery. But it's their veins that make them truly unsettling. Because they run on high pressure air and fluid, that energy doesn't just vanish when the power cuts for the night. It stays trapped in the lines. As those seals slowly leak or the valves settle over hours of silence, these 300-pound bears can suddenly shift their weight, slump their shoulders, or even snap a jaw shut with a violent mechanical clunk. It's not a ghost in the machine, it's physics. But when you're standing in the dark and Big Al's head slowly rotates toward you because of a pressure bleed, science is the last thing on your list. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been on Country Bear Jamboree and if you think you could handle a night alone with these animatronics.
No! The TV is off. It can still hear everything that's being said in the room and broadcast back to the CIA.
I heard you say that they can hack car systems.
There was something in 2017 called the Vault 7 Revelations. A CIA software engineer who was disgruntled, and instead of going to the Russians or the Chinese, he downloaded thousands, tens of thousands of pages of documents classified above top secret. They became what WikiLeaks called the Vault 7 documents. They included things like the CIA, for example, will hack into, let's say, the Iranian Ministry of Interior computer system. But they'll leave little electronic clues, all written in Cyrillic, the Russian alphabet, to make it look like the Russians hacked in. They can take control of your smart TV remotely, and they can make the speaker turn into a microphone. So even though the TV is off, it can still hear everything that's being said in the room and broadcast back to the CIA.
Can they do that with
genius
devices?
They could do that. When I first got hired, they were able to do that.
So they could be doing that right now with
totally.
my iPad.
Absolutely, yes. That's old technology. And then the thing about the car, this was revolutionary. They can take control, again remotely, of a car's computer system in order to, in order to kill you.
Crash the car.
Crash the car, take it off a bridge, take it into a tree. Sure.
A noise that nobody's able to explain is making homes vibrate across multiple different U.S. states right now, and nobody can find the source.
Some strange sounds have been echoing through several local neighborhoods.
It's also just this mystery because nobody seems to know what is causing this strange humming sound.
So literally happening right now, residents all across New Jersey, Virginia, and Connecticut are reporting a deep, low-frequency humming noise that won't stop. Some people are saying that they can't sleep, they can't concentrate, and some are reporting physical symptoms from the stress of hearing it non-stop. And here's what makes this so insane, because nobody can officially confirm where it's coming from. In New Jersey, residents are saying that it started after construction began on a massive 2.5 million square foot data center. In Virginia, hundreds of data centers already line the area, and a retired NASA analyst started tracking the noise himself because he said that it's far worse than anybody expected.
I'm calling it the worldwide hum.
Connecticut themselves have been dealing with this since 2020, and they even approved $16,000 to hire an outside firm to find it. But all of the companies that are involved in this say that they're within the legal noise limits, and local health departments have said that they haven't confirmed a source. Meaning right now, there are thousands of people that are living with a sound that technically doesn't even exist. So the question is, if nobody can identify it, what in the world is it?
Why are they broadcasting a like secret sound, bro, in those places? They've hired all those firms, and they said that's when it's within the legal sound limits. So they're still just gonna let that happen? That's strange.
Are poisoning you. That's what people are saying right now about Shein. There's lawsuits, investigations, and claims that some of these clothes might contain harmful chemicals. I'm talking about things like lead and other stuff you do not want to be wearing on your skin. Now, before you panic, this doesn't mean every Shein item is dangerous. But here's the issue. Fast fashion moves fast. New designs every day. Super low prices. And sometimes that speed can come at a cost of quality control. So yeah, some items have reportedly tested above safe limits. And that's where concern comes in. Because if these companies aren't checking everything properly, what are you really wearing? Now again, this isn't proof that your whole closet is toxic, but it does raise a bigger question. How much do you really know about the stuff you're putting on your skin every day? Cheap doesn't always mean safe. In this situation, got a lot of people looking at their clothes differently. So will you still be buying from Shein after this? Or no?
The fact that this photo of Usher and Justin Bieber is not Photoshop, like in Beyonce looking very shocked in the background, I thought this was AI, just to find out that it's all true. They got into a crazy argument, and I guess it even turned physical allegedly. So this all happened at an Oscar after party, and I mean, it's no secret that Justin Bieber isn't getting along with any of his old management when it comes to like Scooter Braun and now also Usher. But like the fact that it's now turned physical and he's like fighting these people, it's like, bro, Justin Bieber, he's getting involved. But I think the saddest part that no one's really talking about is the fact that Justin Bieber was a kid when he was being mentored by all these guys, and for him to grow up to an adult and have so much resentment, there has to be something weird going on in the back end that nobody knows about and is creating all this emotion and anger towards Justin Bieber that he has grown to. But bro, Beyonce's face in this photo is priceless. It's like a face of like she knows what they're arguing about, and this is not going to end well. Like she knew just by her face, this is bad.
See, y'all better stop leaving your kids unattended at home alone. You never know what type of person that'll pop up at your door when you're not there. See, this shit don't sit right with me at all. This man was caught on Ring camera, going crazy, kicking, punching, screaming at somebody's door, asking for their daughter. Luckily, nobody was home. Luckily, the kids wasn't home alone. But the way this man was acting at the door, if somebody was home, somebody would have got hurt. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Listen to this.
Can you open the door, please? For what? I just want to make sure that everything's okay.
What you here for?
What do you mean? I don't know, just figured I'd check on something. I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house. Get over it. Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter, man?
What?
Where's your daughter?
Mind you, that's only a small portion of the video. This man was in front of that door for at least 5 minutes, going crazy. This is one of those situations where you wish you was there so you could beat his ass. I don't know what's going on with people mentally, but you got a lot of people acting real strange lately. Guard your kids. Protect your house. Protect your family. Because people like this exist. Pay attention.
Bro, if somebody come to your door, man, acting all crazy, saying, "Where's your daughter?" Ain't no telling, bro. I was gonna go there, man. What is up with people, man? People are freaking out, bro, in 2026. It's an epidemic, man.
Did you know that if you have ADHD, according to early human psychology, you're constantly on the environmental lookout for something trying to eat you? Also, there's a pretty high chance if you have ADHD, you're not a night owl because of your phone, but because you are staying awake during the killing hours. 75% of adults with ADHD have a messed up sleep schedule because their brains are hardwired according to human evolution to make sure that they don't get killed in their sleep. That's why you can't go to sleep. That's why you cannot fall asleep that easy. Because 50,000 years ago, you were the one on lookout. Okay, you were the only thing standing in between the saber-toothed cat and the rest of your tribe in the middle of the night. So good job. You being impulsive could also be an ancient human thing, according to your ADHD. You weren't the one who specifically wanted to survive, but the one that would run into the cave of unknown bullshit so the rest of your tribe could know what was in there, because if you didn't come out, you were dead. You're on a constant self-sacrifice mission that current day life has no real use for at all. So basically, when you're hyper-focusing as well, your brain isn't exactly losing touch of reality, but it's hyper-focusing on what it considers to be prey and just losing track of all other basic necessities like eating and sleeping and doing your work. Isn't that interesting? Anyways, that's what I learned today. The end. Sources in the comments.
So many people believe that Northwest, Kanye West's daughter, actually just did an initiation ritual with the Freemasons. This is the symbol on the wall that she's performing in front of. Y'all recognize this? Anybody? It's one of the most prominent symbols in Freemasonry. Now, keep this in mind. You say to yourself, well, she's 12 years old, she's performing, and she's at this venue that has this thing on the wall. That's not her fault. She didn't know. And maybe you're right. Maybe she did not know. But the adults that set this up, they definitely knew. What's even worse is people keep thinking this stuff is fake. I keep telling them over and over again, it's not fake, it's real. These ceremonies exist. These initiation rituals are real. But there was one more comment that really got my attention. It says, this is what y'all call Kanye crazy for predicting was going to happen if she lived with Kim. Kind of hard to disagree with this at this point. Tell me what you think in the comments.
One secured. Second astronaut emerging. Okay, hold on to the raft. Easy now.
And this is why I don't get on rides, bitches. It's just stuck in there hanging there. Looking fucking crazy. A Jet 2 holiday, it is.
Well, now you know going by cloning. Cloning techniques, since 1938, they've been making clone people. There's 8 countries making clones. I have a doctor friend who doesn't treat the clones.
Where do you get your information?
I get it from some of the people that are willing to come forth, and they talk to me because they hope I'll put the information out because they always got 2 people following them and they need to be killed. If I start talking about cloning too much, the people that get involved into that, you disappear on it. So I don't go into too many more details, but there is information that's available. And more and more of that's coming online. I just told you, go rent the movie.
Okay, Voice from Brazil.
Yeah, and you'll see the whole technique on what they show it to you in different places, so you can imagine what is going on.
Okay, so...
Now, let's go to the next step, because this is the most important part.
All right.
If your physical reality that you have, based on this physical life that you have, this dream, is made up of the experiences that is impregnated on your body and in your mind, consciously, right? Your soul memory is another thing. It goes
This is not a glitch, but if you open a ride app and the faces staring back are not human, you must call the police, or whatever happens afterwards is your own fault. People were terrified after passengers across 8 major cities started getting matched with drivers whose profile pictures showed stretched, rotting faces with hollowed out eyes and cracked skin, with many claiming these are not human beings, and those behind the profiles aren't picking up the phone either. Finding reports show Uber requires facial recognition to verify every driver before they can start driving, meaning whatever face is on that profile matched a real scan, passed the system, and was approved as a real person. But it gets much darker, as this wasn't one account or even one city. This was hundreds activated across 8 cities at the same time and growing. But despite Uber banning all of these people, to this day no one has ever been identified or caught. In China,
those ghost jars, man. Those pictures, if you get into Uber and the pictures looking like that, you have no survival skills, man. Playing it simple, bro.
This started happening a lot. Different rides, but the same type of horrific faces showing up. Being ghost drivers, their goal is to scare you into thinking they're not human, so you cancel and they collect a fee, which is not legal. But how are several inhuman faces passing facial recognition?
Owen Wilson is not a real person. Owen Wilson is played by Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has a very specific mole or mark on his right cheek, and he's also got that weird alignment with his teeth, which Owen Wilson also has. The top of Tom Cruise's nose is exactly the same as Owen Wilson's, and once you know it, once you see it, you can't unsee it, and I'll die on this hill.
Hey, watch this with me for a second. This is a comparison between what frogs are supposed to look like in the forest of Chernobyl and what they look like now. Parts of Chernobyl, scientists discovered something really unusual. Eastern tree frogs with completely black skin. Normally these frogs are green or maybe brownish, but in radioactive zones a lot of them had turned jet black, a condition called melanism. Researchers think the frogs are producing extra melanin to protect themselves from harmful UV rays or even radiation.
Did this video just validate Rashad Jamal? Did it just verify everything he was saying? Think about what I'm saying. Them frogs there are indigenous to this planet. They from here. And you know what? Because they from here, they can't be hurt by UV rays and radiation and shit like that. You know why? Because they just produce more melanin. Yeah, that's all they got to do. They don't got to do shit like this to cover up the sun and nothing like that because it's going to fuck them up. Yeah, these frogs don't get sunburned, baby. No. You know why? Because they just produce more melanin. I'm just saying, you would think this just makes sense that if you from here, you would just produce more melanin. But no, everybody can't produce more melanin. So everybody is not created in God's image. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But hear what I'm saying. Before y'all claim he's being racial, I'm saying crazy shit. Hear what I'm saying. I'm just talking about frogs, baby. Just frogs. Ribbit, bitch. Follow me.
Everything changed when I stopped looking at the symbols on the dollar bill as what it is and start saying who put it there and why did they put all of these type of symbols on the dollar bill. Were there some hidden message for us, or was that some mark of territory for them? Let's get into it.
Okay.
So today, even though there's a lot more on this dollar bill, I'm going to go through 10 of these hidden symbols, which there's probably 50 of them. So we'll do more videos in the future. It just depends on you. If in the comments you tell me to keep going, I'll show you more. And when we get to the front, I would then show you why we're moving to cryptocurrency. And they had already told us in this dollar bill that the money was coming to an end. So as you can see, we have 10 different areas that I'm pointing to with these arrows, and I'm going to go through each one of these individually, starting with number 1. This was where number 1 is. This says Novus Ordo Seclorum. This have a hidden meaning, and let me tell you what it is. This is Latin, and it stands for the new order of ages is born. And literally what this really means is they're saying that this is a new world order. And they say it right up front, right in our faces, so we know where the world is going. But they claimed it right here when they first did this one. So let's move over to number 2. So we're going to point right here to where number 2 went, okay? And this is number 2 out of the 10, which is actually these 2 words together. These 2 words is anut copious. And what this means is he
has favored our undertakings. He has favored our that's a new copious. You can go look this up in dictionary.com as well so that you can find the hidden meanings in what this means. And we'll put it all together at the end. Next, we'll get into what I call number 3, which I pointed here, but it's really going to be the entire pyramid itself.
Okay.
Now, in the beginning, hyposymbols was just a position of authority until I start studying the geometry and the hidden meanings of all of these particular parts.
Please tell me y'all have seen this new mannequin that Balenciaga has. It's a woman with a chain hanging out of her mouth dangling over a chandelier. And it's like hyper realistic. And I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a meat chain from like a butcher. And this is the model that they modeled this after right here. Now, this isn't the first time people have questioned Balenciaga's mannequins. Here's another one. They all look super realistic, and then there was that one mannequin where they found out that it was modeled after a runway model that went missing, this one right here. And a lot of people think that these are like real people. But this isn't the first time about this Balenciaga stuff. Is this type of advertising isn't for the average person. It's just not. It's to appeal to a small percentage of people who can afford stuff like this. It's to appeal to the rich, the elite. And after the Jeffrey Epstein files coming out, I'm not surprised that this is how they need to advertise their products in order to get people to buy. And it's pretty creepy.
I don't think y'all understand how dire this is, bro. I've been telling y'all we've been in this shift for about 2 to 3 years now. This is the shift taking a turn for the worse. The world just experienced a day without any babies being born. This guy friend works at a hospital, and there was no babies born in their hospital. So what they did, they called every hospital within a 50-mile radius. And guess what? There was no babies born in those hospitals either. This is what I mean by y'all. We are literally in this shift. Listen to this.
I wanted to wait till the day is over to post this to be 100% sure we're not like preemptively causing a panic, but my friend works at a hospital and he called me earlier and he was like freaking out. He was going crazy and I asked him why and he was like, not a single baby was born today. And you look at that, like one hospital, not a single baby born there. Crazy, insane. Like the odds of that happening are so unlikely. But it's not just his hospital. They called every single hospital in a 50-mile radius, and there was not one single baby born at any of them today. And so, obviously, I also started panicking. I also started freaking out, and I asked him the only question I could really think of to ask in a situation like that. What do you think football is going to look like in the future?
Football? This man is worried about football when the whole human race is going extinct. And it's crazy because I made videos about every race throughout the whole planet experiencing low birth rates. All-time low birth rates. Nobody's having any babies. But also, Jane Elliott told us what is happening throughout the world now. We're entering a different age where you're going to need a different spacesuit. This is exactly what's happening on the planet. The planet is heating up to such a degree that you're going to need a melanated spacesuit in order to move around in this new so-called Earth. So because of this, every other race is experiencing low birth rates as well as birth defects.
Can you elaborate as to why specifically black guys? Yes, black guys are melanated and I want my children to survive. And I know that the only way for them to survive in the future is for them to have melanin in their skin. So that's the way for me to, make my legacy continue.
Well, there you go. Just so her legacy could continue and then the Earth could continue being a rotten place that it is. But this is the start of the Great Separation. Let me know what you guys think about this video. The shit is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
The only way for them to survive in the future is for them to have melanin in their skin. So that's the way for me to, make my legacy continue.
The hell is that?
Eddie?
Who messed with the clouds? They're playing with us, man. Right in front of our faces.
33. 3. All die.
They're moving inside. You've got a bit more symbolism here. Clearly 3 6s all around this fruit.
Foxes, classic. Numerology, fox, 6, 6, 6.
Here we have some strong bow people. Whenever you see the bow there, that's a reference to Saturn. The ring around Saturn is strong, but it's not just robbing sons, it's robbing daughters as well. Robbing them of their health, loaded with chemicals, real fruit in every drop. Where's the fruit, mate? Where is the fruit? One ring to rule them all. Sauron is running Aldi, people. That logo is Saturn. And that logo is Saturn. Now, Coca-Cola is a little bit more difficult to spot because it is inverted, but clearly we've got the sixes all along here. When you look at it like this, you might not notice it, but if you invert it, 6, 6, 6, 100 millimeters, 10 grams of sugar. And then this whole section, just leave it alone, people. It's all Monsanto, it's all GMO wheat, cereal killers.
What they got going on in Phoenix, man? Looks like reality is like tearing the hole, bro, in space.
Walk out your door and look to the west. And there's these funny blue wings falling from, like, literally from the sky. Been about 3 or 4
I don't know what that is, bro.
Place somewhere in the United States where they can manipulate space and time, and I could see what they can do. That's when I went, wow. I saw different doors, right? 2090, the year 2090. I saw the year 2050. I saw the year 1940, and I saw the year 1550. These different doors, right? They had the dates on top. And what I saw was Nordic beings that looked like us. They were in charge of this technology that can go to different times. And we saw people coming back from the 2090s, coming back like with futuristic type of technology and clothes. And they take off their clothes, they go through a tube thing for cleansing, and they come back and they go to another year. The guy that was with me, he said, "Let me get we need to get the hell out of here. We can't see this. We need to get the heck out of here, because what we're seeing, I don't think we should be experiencing this."
Celebrities are using liquid crystal technology to be able to shapeshift and change. That's the claim of this YouTuber whose name is Offshoot1008, and he does some amazing painstaking work. His belief is that there is a technology that they use in their hair and they put on their skin, and that essentially allows them, a bit like a chameleon, that's how chameleons are able to change. So it's a real thing. These reptiles are already doing it. So if we took it a step further, why wouldn't a reptilian race have the ability to shapeshift as well using this liquid crystal technology? And if you can see in his videos, if you want to go ahead, take a look, is on YouTube, you can actually see when he slows it down, you can see the eyes change when they open their mouth, weird anomalies. Now this is a really good, I just wanted to pick up on this one and let you know about this guy on YouTube in case you weren't aware, because it seems a lot of people are interested in the anomaly of so many celebrities looking alike and glitching.
I'm pretty sure the NBA is not going to like the fact that Jeremy Lin just exposed what a lot of us already knew and a lot of people was thinking, that the NBA is rigged. It's some rigging to it. Listen to what Jeremy Lin said, and then y'all got to watch the Dwight Howard body language. It don't lie, fool.
I'm trying to throw anyone under the bus, but there was one specific game where it really hit me. Was I had 20 and 10 after 3 quarters. We were up about 15 to 18. And in the 4th quarter in overtime, I didn't play 1 second. And so I'm looking at the assistant coach, watching our lead go down. I have 20 and 10 after 3 quarters. Like, I'm on pace to have a real nice game. And he goes, "Yeah, we got a call from above. You're done for tonight."
They call.
And so I was like, "What? Like, who picked up the phone? How'd y'all get on the phone in the middle of the game?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What happened?" And they got a look from somebody in the crowd, was like, "No." Like, so me and this other player, the other player who was doing really, he had like 25 after 3 quarters. They were both like, "Yo, those two, they're done." And so we ended up losing in overtime, and this was against another team that was also tied for last, and they were trying to get, the best projection.
So essentially, he was saying the team that he was on, which I believe it was the Knicks, they were tanking games. Somebody higher up was like, "Hey, take them out. We got to lose these games." I don't think this is nothing new to me. I'm already hip to the game. Y'all let me know down below in the comments how y'all feel about this though.
I mean, it was freaking tanking, bro. But the fact that he said he had like 20-10 after 3 quarters and then played like 4th in overtime, bro. I mean, it was literally confirmed this year, right? That's why Adam Silver, like, they had to come out with like a whole new plan to like stop teams from tanking, bro. Especially with the Utah Jazz, man. We saw what they was doing, man. It was getting bad out there, bro. Man, what's up with these freaking sports? It's all like freaking insider information, man. Just to get the best. Just to get the so they can get the most money, man, when they be placing these bets and crap, bro. Or trying to get a draft pick. All this is still allegedly, though, so.
I've never seen an orb like this one because it has a message in it right there. This is a slowed down shot of the orb, but I'm going to show you some still images that show the digits that are in there very clearly.
Show us.
My dad is Chris Bledsoe. We filmed this at Wrightsville Beach during the State of the World Forum. This orb came out of the water and we watched it on the horizon for quite a while. He filmed this with his fancy camera. That's the original. This is an enhanced version.
0350.
This is it reflected, and here's another enhanced version. The same orb at a different time. This is the year of alignment, everyone. Just like the lady told my dad in 2012, our world is going to come into a new knowledge, and it seems like the phenomenon is speaking to us in more clear ways than they ever have before. They let us film this so that you could see it.
Can anybody tell me what's going on with this pine tree?
Nope. Can't lie to you, bro. What is that?
I don't get it.
I'm often asked, are there aliens among us? And I'll say that I am one, but...
Did y'all hear what he just said? Or was it just me, bro? It can't just be me.
Or you're from the future.
They don't believe me. I think if anyone would know if there are aliens among us, it would be me. We have 9,000 satellites up there, and not once have we had to maneuver around an alien spaceship. So I'm like, I don't know. Bottom line is, I think we need to assume that life and consciousness is extremely rare, and it might only be us. And if that's the case, then we need to do everything possible to ensure that the light of consciousness is not extinguished. The way I view it is, the image in my mind is of a tiny candle in a vast darkness, a tiny candle of consciousness that could easily go out. And that's why it's important to make life multiplanetary, such that if there is a natural disaster or a man-made disaster on Earth, that consciousness continues. That's the purpose of SpaceX.
You know, almost an alien, bro. Confirm.
Look right there, yo. Those are those evil children they're always talking about. Threatening me.
He's still
there? Crazy is that? Isn't that wild?
Okay, calm down.
I'm confused.
You're confused? Yo, this spring, we are going across here, because if you look, I don't know if you can see it because of the fog. No, you can't see it, it's too foggy. There's a chimney of an abandoned colonial house over here. In these woods. This spring we're going, yo.
Beside you.
Oh, I'm out.
I'm not even.
This is why nobody talks about the Bermuda Triangle anymore. Yeah, did you hear that they found an underwater UFO base in the Bermuda Triangle? For decades, we've all been wondering what really happens down there. People have blamed things like rogue waves, compass errors, methane bubbles, all of which have caused the disappearance of dozens of ships and planes over the years. But the truth might be way more concerning. Because according to an alleged whistleblower leak, the Bermuda Triangle isn't just a ship and plane graveyard. It might just be home to this cloaked UFO facility that may have gotten here through a dimensional portal. Apparently, this isn't even just a base, it's an automated non-human intelligence factory that 3D prints UFOs custom built for different mission types. And it's believed to have been there for thousands of years, powered by massive crystal pyramids on the ocean floor. Now, this all sounds pretty out there, but maybe this could explain things like the electronic fog phenomena that pilots like Bruce Gernon have talked about over the years, along with time anomalies, compasses going haywire, and flights arriving way too early or way too late from their schedule, like time got bent somehow, even though the trip felt normal to the pilot. So if you've ever wondered why Flight 19 vanished, or why navigational instruments have been reported to just shut off on ships and planes, well, the leak claims that this facility has this automated defense perimeter, meaning that if you get too close, you either get vaporized or pulled through some kind of dimensional wormhole.
Anybody who know 50 wasn't going to be quiet. But when 50 was quiet, everybody was like, it's over for 50. He quiet. First 50 said he dropping a documentary about T.I. and China. Post that on his Instagram, delete it. And everybody like, yo, 50 is scared. But if you read that caption under it, he said new music coming. So he dropped new music. And 50 just dropped some shit that's going to stick. Let me explain. I hear people saying those bars wasn't up to par. I hear people saying that T.I. song, King song, and Little T.I. song was better than 50 shit that he dropped. But here's the thing though. That's a new Power Origins theme song. Which would mean, anytime that show get played, let me say that to you again. Anytime that show gets played, you gonna hear about T.I. and China. Now, Tip dropped some shit too. And I'm not gonna lie, it's fire. Just like the rest of the songs that drop. But listen to this. After this beef shit die down, because you know it's gonna die down, we might not remember these songs. But every time we watch Power Origins, you gonna hear them bars. And on top of that, 50 Cent, he dropping a documentary. I'm out.
Those 50 Cent beats, man, are always crazy, bro. I wasn't expecting 50 Cent and T.I. to be beefing in 2026, man. That wasn't on the bingo card. Stuck in a bottle factory, sit out. What the heck?
So bro ordered a double quarter pounder. Look at the flaky beef. Somebody said they left the wrapper still on there, but no. That looked like a regular burger gone wrong. Got this double quarter pounder in my meal tonight. Double quarter pound. How's that give you extra meat with plastic wrap? I done seen some people get a sandwich with no meat, just bun. No meat. Fast food, there's too many of these joints. I will never, ever forget this picture. There is always a Happy Meal close by. Makes no sense, bro. Health is wealth. You can make your own burger. You can make your own cheeseburger, your own fries. Then you gonna realize how you don't need to be eating that. See, you know what's the dupe of fast food too? A lot of y'all wouldn't cook this. You wouldn't cook cheese fries with bacon bits and burgers. Like if you had all these things in front of you and you was cooking, you would not be this unhealthy. But since it's so fast, like, let me get some chicken nuggets too, and a burger, and some fries, and let me get a fish fillet. Like, come on, bro, you wouldn't even be eating all that at one time.
I see the balloon. Oh hell! I look like an UFO.
Gap is getting paid by Sam Altman for your biometric information. I thought you should know that. As a recap, this orb is Sam Altman's solution to verify that you're human, when AI is indistinguishable. But what the hell is a device that takes photographs of your eyes doing in a store that sells jeans? According to this plaque, it's harmless. They're both San Francisco-based companies just showing each other some love. When reporter Sydney Hayes asked in person, this is the response you got. I think you're asking too many questions. You're getting into the gap of it all. Oh, those are very legitimate questions given the individuals in this picture. We have the president and CEO of Gap Inc., the president and CEO of Gap Brand, and you probably know this guy, Zach Posen, was the chief creative officer. So even though it's only in one store in San Francisco, that is not the goal. And World will tell you that back in September, they launched this partner program. Their goal is to have an extensive retail presence because they want every single human being to have their photograph taken of their eyes so they can verify that they're human. It lists 3 benefits, but the reality is the second one, it's all money. They're getting paid for every single human being who verifies themselves with the orb in their stores. This is a potential big source of revenue for a brand that has over 3,500 brick and mortar stores. I don't see any disclosure that they're being paid. Isn't that an FCC violation? Even if there were a disclosure, we still need clear rules on where you can put these things. So in addition to their flagship stores, which is fine, you find them at partners like Razer, or for any random person who purchases them and puts them in a place of business. And that's the reason you may find a biometric device in a Brazilian restaurant in Orlando. But you can imagine some opportunist is going to come along and try to place them in places that's going to get the most signups. For example, at a bar to take advantage of people being intoxicated. Or placing them in high poverty areas to take advantage of the fact they get $50 for signing up. Remember, that's the reason they started in developing countries in the first place. Last fall, when everyone was distracted with a Cat's Eye commercial or the Santa Leanne collab, Gap was going after your eyes when you weren't watching.
Something. It's like, why would everybody was looking left? You're supposed to be looking right, bro. I had no idea, man, that they were freaking scanning people, bro. And they getting paid for it. Whew, man. I'm glad I watched these clips together with you guys, bro.
Truly horrific just went down at the U.S. Capitol building.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
Yeah, it's a very hard watch. But the reason why this happened is pretty significant. So during an Armed Services Subcommittee hearing, a Marine veteran and Senator candidate, Brian McGuinness, was forcibly removed and they ended up breaking his hand. Now, this happened after he stood up in the middle of the hearing and disrupted it by yelling this.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go.
Now that is when 2 officers grabbed him and attempted to drag McGuinness out of the room, which they explained later by saying that protests are not allowed inside the congressional buildings. But McGuinness did not go quietly. He resisted and he kept yelling. In fact, one of those men is actually one of the senators, Tim Sheehy, who joined the security. This is all while most senators in attendance refused to turn around.
Look at you guys, you're robots! You won't even look back! Oh my god, what is happening?
McGuinness now faces charges of assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, and more. But this comes as a debate in Washington is growing over how much influence Israel had in the U.S. entering this war with Iran, especially since Marco Rubio said this a couple of days ago.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us.
But, as always, what do you guys think?
We're looking at once top secret footage from the Cold War, a top secret mission known as Project Iceworm, an operation to build an underground city beneath the ice of Greenland. Under the cover of Camp Sentry, a public science base. Utilizing diesel-powered streams of hot water, engineers cut long trenches into the ice, arched them with steel roofs, and then buried the whole grid under packed snow, concealing an entire hidden underground town with prefabricated buildings, corridors, and support spaces, designed to house roughly 200 personnel. Power came from a PM-2A portable nuclear reactor, with the purpose to enable a second strike capability in the case of an ICBM launched by the Soviet Union at the US. According to official reports, the reactor was removed and by the mid-60s, the base was abandoned. With recent news, it's not hard to wonder if Project Iceworm 2.0 is underway.
Oh, wow. What if I told you that half your body isn't even you? Meaning your body right now is more of a colony than a person, and it's running way more of your body than you realize. They call it the microbiome, all while subconsciously affecting and controlling my mood and cravings. So you're telling me trillions of microscopic beings are living inside of me right now?
Hope they having a good time.
You motherfucker.
who's really in control here? Ain't that suspicious? Y'all don't find the gut-brain relationship suspicious? Y'all don't think that this thing is a super suit? No, this can't be.
Bro, what's up with underground cities, man? Jim Carrey, bro. People really think
Are y'all getting the message yet? Because why would a group of pastors come to the Oval Office and pray over the president for his protection and what's to come? You guys do know that America is in its karmic stages right now, y'all, right? And Trump is about to put down the hammer on this. Because in this video, Trump look like he's the one that's the aggressor. Like, he don't need protection. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's about to go to war. And everything that's happening on the planet right now, y'all. And do y'all remember the beginning of this year when those shamans in Peru, they were having the ceremony over the water and they were doing some crazy things to Trump? Look at this. He looks demonic over here. Look at this. And then this over here, they were pouring some type of substance on his picture, man. And only him for some reason too, man. So what do they know? So what do you guys think is coming, right? Because these people hold some type of scripture. They know something that we don't. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They know something that we don't. They have access to the true books of history that has detailed information on what's actually to come. Because just like they need it, man. Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. The shit they see. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
Number 5. The man who took this photo of his wife scuba diving off the Australian coast also managed to take a photo of Tina Watson, who was drowned by her husband that day in 2003. Dutch teenager Gary Slock and his mother Petra posted this photo to Facebook moments before their plane was shot down by Russians, killing all 298 people aboard. This is the last photo ever taken of 18-year-old Jolie Callan, who after this photo was taken was shot twice in the head and pushed off of the cliff by her ex-boyfriend. While this may seem like a normal family photo, just below the wife is a rattlesnake about to strike her arm. She was bitten and survived, but the dog died. Guys, make sure to go follow my Instagram at JackHNeil. For the next 24 hours, I'll be following every single person back.
That rattlesnake was crazy. I didn't even see it.
Scary facts you wish you never knew. Olivia Farnsworth was 7 years old when she got hit by a car. She was then dragged 100 feet and felt nothing. This is because she's the only person in the world diagnosed with chromosome 6 deletion, which means she doesn't feel pain, hunger, or the need to sleep. This is a Buddha monk in Thailand. He's 109 years old. He was born in 1913. Only 1% of people can do this. None of you can completely spell your name one word at a time in the comments without being interrupted. Let's see who wins first this time. This watermelon tastes like your mama's booty. This isn't scary, but it's scary fast. In 1945, the US government injected 18 people with dangerous radioactive plutonium. Oh, and they did it without them knowing, just to see how their bodies would react. They ended up not admitting this until 1995. It was announced the day of the O.J. Simpson trial, so that it wouldn't receive any media attention. Makes you wonder what else the government has done secretly and hasn't decided to tell us yet, until another distraction comes. Now you can check if your phone activity is being monitored. Just click share, slide to the very end, click more, and if any unknown apps appear before your contacts, you should delete them immediately. In 2012, Anthony Hansley was kayaking in Illinois when a swan came and attacked him and became very aggressive. He fell out the kayak and decided to swim to shore, but the swan kept attacking him while he was swimming, causing him to sadly drown. If you like and follow my page, you'll become smarter every day.
These are 5 rare children with real superpowers. 1. This is Ben Underwood. He was born in California on January 26, 1992, and seemed like a very healthy child. But sometime later, his mother noticed a strange shine in his right eye. However, the boy showed no signs of vision problems. Shortly after, a medical examination determined that he had cancer in his eyes, and there was no other option but to remove them to save his life. As expected, Ben's world changed completely from that moment on. Completely blind from such an early age, he began to develop a process in which his ears acquired a special sensitivity, learning to identify objects through sound. This ability is known as echolocation and is highly developed in animals like bats, but very few cases have occurred among humans. He makes clicking noises with his tongue, which, when hitting objects around him, produce an echo. He is able to hear the echo and determine what the object object is, how far away it is, and even what material it is made of. Thanks to this auditory vision, he was able to do activities like running without getting lost, playing basketball, riding a bike, playing video games, surfing, fighting opponents, and practicing martial arts. Without a doubt, he is a true superhero with real superpowers.
This is the terrifying image of a woman cowering on her rooftop, trying to escape an intruder when he pops up behind her. What happened to this woman is like something off a horror film. It was September 2014 and Melora Rivera was at her home in California. Unfortunately for her though, she was not home alone on the day in question, although she was initially unaware of this. Melora worked as an actress and actually had a part in the Whitney Houston film Sparkle. She was in her bed when she noticed somebody in her property. He had apparently broken a panel to reach inside and unlock one of the doors. Terrified, the woman tried to escape onto the roof to alert authorities. She managed to balance up on the roof and ring 911 before, terrifyingly, he jumped up and appeared behind her. This image was captured by a passerby. Thankfully, police arrived on the scene and the man was arrested. He was identified as 29-year-old Christian Hicks. He was swiftly arrested and the woman was rescued off the roof by the fire brigade.
That's a sad story. She had to hide up on her roof, man. I guess a fan got obsessed with her. Dark side of fame.
Did you hear about the janitor who peed inside his coworker's water bottle and infected everyone with STDs? Imagine this, you clock into work every morning and fill up your bottle using the water dispenser at the office. But little do you know, you're actually drinking someone's urine. This all happened in Houston when employees at a medical office began noticing that the water dispenser had a sour taste and smell to it. This weird taste and smell was going on for days, and mind you, people were still drinking this water despite the nasty smell and taste. But one employee decided that she was done drinking this water and instead she began bringing her own water from home. Of course, there were days she didn't finish all her water and left the bottle in her office overnight and then drank it the next day. But it wasn't long until this employee began noticing that the water she brought from home also began having a disgusting smell and taste. She finally decided to do something about this when her co-worker offered to make her a coffee and used the water from her bottle, and they noticed that it smelled like urine. So at this point, these two employees spoke to the doctor at the facility and they agreed to do a urine test on the water dispenser, and it came back positive. Now that they knew someone was urinating in the water dispenser, they wanted to find out who this psychopath was, so they set up a hidden camera in the office, and you won't believe what they saw. They caught the janitor, 53-year-old Lucio Diaz, unzip his pants, put his thing inside the bottle, and urinate inside. He then put the cap back on the bottle and returned it to the same spot it was. The employees went straight to the police, and when Lucio was questioned, he admitted to everything and said that he did it out of malicious intent. But this horror story doesn't even end there, because Lucio then told police that he had a sickness. When police asked him to elaborate, he told them that he had STDs and chlamydia. 13 employees had a panel of STD tests performed a few days later, which came back positive for herpes, which is something they never had. This evil man was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but he was only sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Let's talk about
6 years? Nah, that ain't enough, man. After what he just said, not enough.
serial killers that got caught for being stupid. Today I want to talk about the alleged Long Island serial killer who was caught in a way that's kind of similar to Brian Koberger. And a reminder that if you have a dark curiosity, you'll love the podcast. So Rex Heuermann was just arrested for allegedly being the Long Island serial killer, who went undetected in Long Island for 12 years, killing women, a man, and a toddler. Rex was a successful architect with a family and a normal life, so how did he get caught? Well, in 2010, a Chevrolet was found parked outside of a victim's home. The type of car that Rex also owned, which is what put him on police's radar. Years went by, nothing happened, but last year a new detective reopened the case and got a warrant to search his home. So police knew that throughout the years, a burner phone was being used to contact and torment victims and their families. And once they got a hold of Rex's cell phone, they realized that it had been pinging at the same time and place as the burner phone. And if that's not enough, police also got access to his search history, which showed that he had been obsessively searching for the victims and their families for years. It was believed he was trying to get information on how to contact the families today. His specific adult video preferences were also exposed, which I can't talk about here. It's just the worst thing I've ever read. And finally, what did Rex in, which is what did Kohberger in, was a police officer was able to get DNA off a half-eaten piece of pizza in his garbage can, and it matched DNA that was found on a victim. This is all still just alleged, but this evidence looks really damning.
Gruesome facts you didn't know, part 178. After being removed from the body, a normal heart can continue to beat for around 60 seconds. A heart removed from a heavy cocaine user can continue to pulsate for up to 25 minutes. Once clinical symptoms appear, rabies is 100% fatal. Haj Mohammed Mesfui was a Moroccan serial killer who murdered at least 36 women. Due to the heinous nature of his crimes, he was sentenced to immurement, sealed in an enclosed space until death.
Ooh. Bad way to go.
I heard in some parts of Australia, yeah, I know Australia, they warn you never to get water from the same spot more than twice in a row. Because crocodiles have a brain in the weight class of a walnut, but they're smart enough to hunt in a group, set up traps, and recognize patterns, which means they can memorize the routines of animals around them, and if you get too predictable about your daily, they'll take note and turn you into a statistic the next chance they get. The statistic is, crocodiles murk an estimated 1,000 people a year, and there's a reason it's an estimate. If a lion or tiger starts eating humans, it's usually because there's something wrong with them, and they typically get caught soon after. When a prehistoric sledgehammer life deprives a person, it's cause he was hungry. Crocodiles are one of the few animals alive that, if they don't actively hunt humans, they do not discriminate. Problem is, a lot of crocs can go over a year without eating, and since they'll spend most of it cosplaying as a log, crocs are arguably the most difficult animal to catch when they do become man-eaters. They can live for a century if their luck's right. Gustav allegedly took 300 people off the census. I don't know about the number, but to this day, there's no proof that he was ever caught, especially since those pits are sensors that can detect the smallest disturbance in water, which means a 20-foot assault gecko can clock your exact location before you even realize you're sharing the water. And with the splashing of playing children being exactly like the disturbances of struggling prey, crocodiles are a major threat to minor safety. And now you see how Lucifer's leather lapdog ran circles around dinosaurs. Now add that nature gave Satan's belt the strongest recorded bite force of any animal at almost 4,000 pounds. Oh, also, some of them can run, and some can climb, the more you know.
Nah, when that alligator was running, bro, that's pure nightmare fuel, bro. Imagine an alligator running at you, man. I'll turn into the Flash. I'm out. You ain't catching me.
Imagine living your entire life and then finding out that the people that raised you are actually your kidnappers. You were kidnapped as a baby right out of the hospital, and this all finally comes out 17 years later because of a selfie that you took with one of your friends. In 1997 in Cape Town, South Africa, Maryanne and Celeste Nurse were pregnant with their first baby. The couple was young, they were only like 18 years old, but they were so excited to have their little baby girl. And then on April 28th, 1997, Maryanne and Celeste welcomed their little baby girl, Zephanie, into the world. Celeste had a C-section, so there was a little bit of extra recovery. She was still in the hospital 2 days after giving birth. Celeste was on all of this pain medication. It made her super drowsy, so on April 30th, with her newborn daughter sleeping in the cot next to her, Celeste fell asleep just for a quick little nap, only to be woken up a little while later with a nurse standing over her, frantically asking her, "Where is your baby?" Someone had come in and kidnapped her 2-day-old daughter, Zephanie, right out of her hospital room. Celeste told the police that the last thing that she remembered before she fell asleep was a nurse coming into her room and telling her that she should get some rest. But as Celeste described this nurse, none of the other staff recognized this description.
Inmates used AC vents to conceive a baby without ever meeting in person. 29-year-old Daisy Link and 24-year-old Joanne DeBuzz are facing separate murder charges and are staying at the same prison. While they were both awaiting trial, they began communicating with each other through the air conditioning vents in their cells. Despite the unusual circumstances, they formed a close bond. During one of these air vent conversations, Joanne told Daisy that he always had a desire to have a child, but since he was incarcerated, this may never happen. He then told Daisy that if he ever had the choice, he would choose her to be the mother of his child. Before long, the two had developed a plan to conceive. They came up with this plan that they were going to use the same air vent system that they used to communicate. Over the course of a month, Joanne would carefully wrap his in plastic wrap about 5 times a day and roll it just like a cigarette. He would put it through the air vent system, and once it reached Daisy's cell, she would carefully take it out. Once it reached Daisy, she used an applicator to insert the fluid inside of her body. After a few attempts, Daisy found out she was pregnant. In December of 2023, Daisy called her family with the great news that she was pregnant, and she told them that she had originally asked staff for a pregnancy test back in November, but they were ignoring her request until December. On June 19th of this year,
What locals did to this man's family was pure evil. This was the real-life Pennywise. In 1954, Victor Lane was a kind clown performing at the Black Hollow Carnival. As a child, he lost his family in a mysterious fire. Locals called it an accident, but Victor overheard men laughing about how the freaks got what they deserved. Despite the pain, he became a clown to spread joy, but the town never accepted him. They mocked him as Creepy Smiley. One October night, a group of boys set his tent on fire during a show. His face was badly burned, and as he fled into the woods, the crowd laughed. Then, the town changed. Children vanished. Red balloons appeared at doorsteps. The mayor's son disappeared after a balloon was tied to his mailbox. What happens next will terrify you, but remember, I can only protect my followers who comment their names. A search party found an abandoned shack with carnival props, burned family photos, and a mirror etched with "Who's laughing now?" But Victor was gone. Now, every October, red balloons reappear. A warning, a reminder, and each year, someone vanishes.
Pennywise origins? Maybe that was an untold origins, man, that we just heard. That's what I think. This went down.
This is part 2 of what went on during the Habersham County press conference on Debbie Collier this morning. I highly suggest you go to the other video that I just made so that you can hear all the other details as well. So, the most crazy information that they did give during this press conference was that Amanda did speak to Debbie on the phone that afternoon. Though he does not have the exact time on it. But whenever somebody asked if Amanda would give any indication on why she was going to the Family Dollar store, the police officer said that Amanda said that Debbie was going to the Family Dollar to buy supplies to clean Amanda's house. This raises so many questions for me because, I mean, first, why would you drive 90 minutes north to go to a Family Dollar to buy cleaning supplies when there's all these stops along the way and near her house to be able to get the same supplies? And the weirdest thing, none of that supplies is used to clean a house. I mean, paper towels, yeah, sure, but a torch, a poncho, a tarp, what would that be used for to clean a house? And coincidentally, all that supplies was found at the murder scene. They also confirmed that Amanda was living in Maryland with her brother, and she moved back down on the 8th of September. And remember, Steve lets Amanda live in the rental house off and on, basically whenever Amanda needs somewhere to stay. It was also confirmed that Steve was working from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. parking vehicles for the football game that was going on, and they have all of it on CCTV, so it's very unlikely that he's involved. So Amanda spoke to Debbie that afternoon. She got the Venmo transaction at 3:17, and then she waited a whole 3 hours to contact the police and file a missing persons report. And we don't know if Amanda tried to call her mom or anything between the Venmo transaction and when the police report was filed. That was pretty much the extent of the information that they gave. The detective did mention that this is not a sprint and that they're going to take their time on this to be able to get all the information correct, which honestly I respect. Like, get all the information and then do what you need to do. Especially so whenever someone's found, court is smooth and there's no question or anything, to not be able to give this person the maximum punishment. One more thing is that they did mention that the autopsy is not completed yet. They have not received the report, and that the medical examiners gave them a 6-week time frame, likely because they're waiting on that toxicology report to come back. So let me know what you guys are thinking. They did say that they will do another press conference as soon as they get the autopsy report back, and hopefully by then they have more information. I think it's interesting that no one has been ruled out yet. And I will be super interested to see the timeline that they come up with whenever they get all the access to the phones. It's not really looking good, though, for Miss Bearden.
Kimberly Schreiber waited 5 decades to know who killed her sister Barbara and Barbara's best friend, Darlene Zetterauer. Broward Sheriff's detectives say the 2 teenagers got into a white van near Sterling Road in Hollywood on June 18, 1975, and were never seen alive again. The next day, their bodies were found murdered near the Everglades. BSO tried repeatedly to solve the crime by processing evidence found at the scene, but they say it wasn't until advanced DNA technology made a match that, along with with new eyewitness statements, brought detectives to Robert Clark Keebler and Lawrence Stein.
We compared it to a sibling of the second suspect, and in doing so, 18 months after the original partial profile, we were able to positively identify Lawrence Stein as being the second defendant involved in these murders.
Both men are now dead, having spent most of their lives in and out of prison. Closing the case brings back a flood of memories for Kimberly, who was only 5 years old when Barbara was killed.
She could have been anything. She was smart. She was kind.
That's crazy, man. She had to wait 5 decades to see justice get done. But they came to him, man.
Alabama man arrested after his girlfriend's remains are found in the trunk of her car. Now this happened in Birmingham, Alabama. Cedric Robertson behind me has been arrested on suspicion of killing his girlfriend Nikita Davidson. She is also a mother of 4, and he drove off in her own car. Nikita Davidson was reported missing April 11th at 1 a.m. Officers responded to a 2-vehicle collision an hour later. They then found evidence of a violent crime and investigated. From the evidence they gathered, they suspected that Robertson ran into Nikita Davidson's vehicle on purpose, shot her in the back of the head, and then put her in the trunk of her own car and drove off with her car. Apparently, in 2008, he did the exact same thing. He shot a woman and then put her in the back of the trunk and drove off. On April 12th, about 24 hours after she was missing, that's when they found her remains in the trunk of her car. Robertson is now being held in the county jail on charges of capital murder. He's also being charged with kidnapping and failure to appear. This is such a sad story, especially for the kids. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
Tell me what you think might be wrong with this picture. The picture behind me was captured in 2019 by a real estate agent who was doing a sweep of a home before a viewing. What I got from the story, the house is out in a rural part of Mississippi, somewhere in Webster County. If you look at a street view of this place, it is desolate on this road. There's not a lot going on. The real estate agent had gone through the house and said that she was hearing things coming from the basement and she wasn't sure if it was an animal. She opened the door to the top of the stairs of the basement. She just started taking these pictures to send to her boss, but it was her boss who noticed something in the background. You zoom in, very faint and in the dark, you can see what looks like a person who's kneeling in the crack of that doorway down there. She didn't stick around to the house long enough to actually see this person. It is only captured in this photo, and there was no additional evidence of them in the home after this was taken. Please don't forget, if you are looking for more creepy content, go check out my podcast, The Sinister.
I ain't seen it, I just saw like a freaking, just a light. Just like a small, like, I cannot see that person kneeling down, man. I don't know if that's bad or not.
Police in Massachusetts came upon a grisly scene this month when they discovered the bodies of 4 infants at an apartment building in South Boston. The bodies were discovered in early November, and they have now been identified as 2 male and 2 female infants. And one of those sets of remains was found inside of a freezer in a 1-bedroom apartment. And this case is as disturbing as it is mysterious. A 911 caller first alerted police to go check out this apartment, but that person's identity has not been released. And autopsy results on the 4 sets of remains are still pending, so we don't know how old the bodies were, how long they had been dead, what killed them, or who these children belong to. And so far, police haven't arrested anyone in this case, nor have they publicly identified a single suspect. Now, the apartment building where this happened has 9 units, and neighbors were frankly shocked to hear about this gruesome scene. And one nearby resident told reporters that there were a handful of people that used to go in and out of that particular unit, but nothing struck them as suspicious.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. Episode 20. Number 1. Coffin births. This is a rare phenomenon that is scientifically known as post-mortem fetal extrusion. It occurs when a pregnant woman dies and her body expels the fetus. The gases in the abdomen builds up and then forces the stillborn fetus out. Number 2. Genie. the feral child. Discovered in 1970, Jeannie was a girl who had been kept isolated by her family in Los Angeles for over a decade. She was almost entirely mute and had barely any exposure to human interaction or the outside world. Number 3. The Green Children of Woolpit. In the 12th century, 2 children with green-tinted skin appeared in the village of Woolpit in England. They spoke an unknown language and only ate raw beans. Eventually, their skin lost its green color and they adapted to normal food. The origin of these children still remains a mystery. Number 4. The Hinterkaifeck murders. In 1922, an entire family was mysteriously murdered at their farm in Germany. Reports found footsteps leading to their farm, but not away. This case was never solved. In Minnesota, United States, there is a waterfall that splits into 2. One side flowing into a river and the other side vanishing into a hole. Scientists still don't know where that water goes. Number 7. Wow. NASA would never release information about asteroids approaching Earth. Not because they're worried about us freaking out. It's because we don't have the technology to detect if there are asteroids coming from very far away. Number 8. Human extinction. This is linked to number 7. We can't really confirm if any asteroids are coming to hit us because in 2017 an asteroid named AG-13 was about to hit Earth with less than the distance of the moon. The asteroid flew so fast, scientists were only able to see it 48 hours before it could have hit Earth. This is real information. Let me know if you want part 21.
To be closed. So this restaurant is closed, everyone is gone, and this person is by themselves. And they caught this on camera.
Could be a glitch.
Confused. But he definitely just appeared out of nowhere. Stay weird.
Let me tell you about some of the things I just learned today. Tom Cruise is older than Gandalf. Tom Cruise is almost 63 years old today, while Ian McKellen, who is the actor who played Gandalf, was 62 years and 5 months old. 15 million people who bought Grand Theft Auto 5 have passed away while waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. Terry Irwin has not been on a date since losing her husband, Steve Irwin, 20 years ago now. Rob Schneider recently said publicly that Adam Sandler has called him every week for the past 30 years. LA has more taco trucks than gas stations, as it should be. I'll pay the premium prices for the tacos, but not the gas. That's actually literally like double the amount of taco trucks. That's amazing. Central Park is larger than the entire country of Monaco, and it also is about double the size. Kind of close. Hawaii is moving towards Japan 4 inches a year, or 10 centimeters if you feel that way. If you feel that. That was the most American line that I've ever said.
If you're unfamiliar where Pace, Florida is, it's located right up there in the Panhandle. Residents were startled and woken right out of their sleep at around 5 a.m. to a crazy sound coming out of the sky.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, take a look at this video.
So we all just got woken up to some disturbing sound all through the whole area. It was called 911, and they said they've gotten like over 50 calls about it.
You hear how loud that is? What is that? Here's another video from another part of Pace, Florida.
What is this noise?
Same sound.
What does that sound like to you?
Signal jam?
Residents have also reported seeing strange lights in the sky coming from the ocean right before dawn this past week. Only one news outlet reported the sounds in the sky and claimed it was a tripped steam line. So my question to you is, do you think that was a tripped steam line, or was something else lurking in the area? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Damn, young Doug. Who would have known that Thugger
was out here snitching. In my mind, I'm just wondering, how is Young Thug going to spin this scenario? What excuse is he going to come up to what we all heard on this damn audio of him allegedly snitching? Y'all remember what he said? He don't fuck with rats. He called Gunna a rat. So now with this audio, is he gonna call himself a rat? Now I'm just wondering, is the industry gonna hold him to the same standard as everybody else they deem snitches? The same way they did Gunna? The same way they did 6ix9ine? I know he was telling, but still, a rat is a rat, right? Am I wrong? Am I tripping? Now can you and Gunna rekindle y'all relationship? Y'all, listen to the audio.
This motherfucker money from New Orleans. I'm coming out. This was in Atlanta and I was in New Orleans. I said, what the fuck? That was so weird. This fucker, they don't shot this to us. I don't know who the fuck they said Russell with. I don't know if I ain't finna. I don't know block. I don't know like block out y'all case by saying Russell ain't do that shit on Russell. Man, that been fucking true. That fool. I'm like, you shot everybody, bro. Well, I don't fucking know because every day nigga broke fucking ball. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So listening to that audio, what do y'all think? Let me know. Am I tripping? Was that snitching? Dry snitching? Anti-snitching? A little sprinkle of the seasoning? Let me know down below in the comments. How y'all feel about it?
You have
Tell me down
spare
below.
bedrooms in your house or apartment, you may soon be taxed extra for it. This is what lawmakers in Australia are proposing as a radical plan to address their housing and affordability crisis. Now, last week during the country's economic reform roundtable, one of the several proposals that they made would work by disincentivizing or punishing people who have spare bedrooms. For example, if you are a family of 3 but you have 5 bedrooms, you would be taxed extra for those 2 additional bedrooms. And this is because Australia has a bit of a problem. They simply don't have enough homes, which has caused house prices to skyrocket, and since they consistently fall short of their annual target of building 240,000 new houses, they're now being forced to find ways of making space with the houses they've already got. But some people are outraged about this, saying that it's intrusive and that if they have empty bedrooms, it's for guests or storage. They argue that this is an infringement on privacy and freedom, and that it's unfair to expense those who have retired. But what do you guys think? Is this going too far, or is it necessary to ensure everyone has a home?
I mean, that's kind of crazy, bro. You're getting taxed because you have some extra rooms in your house. Could you imagine getting a bed and be like, oh, because you have like 2 or 3 more extra rooms, man, you gotta get taxed on that. Nah.
People are leaving this museum with bruises, scratches, and nightmares, and one painting might be causing it. The Artemis fractal, painted by Bill Stoneham, is considered to be one of the most haunted paintings in the world. Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures added it to his museum thinking that this would be a cool exhibit, but visitors are now experiencing physical and emotional reactions that are impossible to ignore. Here's the wildest part about it though, nobody seems to understand why this painting is actually considered haunted. Paranormal experts think that it might be a psychic amplifier, and the painter said that the painting has a living energy. That means that it can reflect and magnify the emotional and spiritual energy of anyone who looks at it. People look at it and they report fear, sudden sadness, even physical bruising and scratches, like the painting is reacting to them directly. When people visit the museum, they report fainting, crying, having nightmares, or coming out with bruises and scratches. And this isn't just an isolated incident. In the same museum, there's a doll named Peggy, and she's notorious for having paranormal activity. I'm gonna make a video about her after this. But like having both of these objects in the same space makes it feel like something dark is spreading through the rooms. Would you be brave enough to visit this museum, or do you think that all of this is just a publicity stunt? Let me know and follow for more.
Nope.
This is why
I rebuke that negative energy
on your skin when something don't feel right. Okay? Or you hear the saying of your hair standing up on the back of your neck. What does an antenna do once it receives a frequency? It stands up right. All right? So the reason the hair stands up on your back of your neck when something doesn't feel right or seem right is because your skin is literally an antenna. Now, these frequencies that you emit out your skin goes out into the universe and begins to immediately reshape your environment around you based upon what it is that you have been thinking, based upon what it is that you have been sending to the... Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Based on what it is that you have been sending to your brain. How have you been programming your computer? all right? Your brain is literally a computer, all right? And the reason why a lot of us black people and Latinos, which are the original guys, are walking around completely blind and lost right now is because we walking around without no goddamn GPS, no Wi-Fi, okay? If you don't have the neurochemistry in your brain set up to teach, set up to learn, set up to better yourself, then you're going to do whatever programming you're thinking at the time, okay? So basically, these images that your ancestors used when they taught, once again, they're called hieroglyphics, all right? This is why they wrote those on those Egyptian pyramids. And then like even like that freaky weird pedophile shit that be going on, like you hear about it, but it's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on. And people manipulate young women, they manipulate kids, and at the end of the day, it's all for the dollar and all to feed their ego. So I've seen some shit where you be like, that's just not right. Like that person shouldn't be talking to that person. That person shouldn't be in the room with that person alone. That person shouldn't, but on the other side, what I've also seen is some very innocent situations get turned into things that have nothing to do with the person or the position in power, but because it was manipulated from the other side, it made someone who was just trying to operate within the system look bad. I mean, like I said, like I've been part of lawsuits where I wasn't even in the same city, but because it was an event that I sponsored or it was a movie.
So I see everybody saying that they haven't seen the president for the last couple of days, and this shit is looking kind of weird. Now, the fact that J.D. Vance jumped on TV and said what he said, and we all heard what he said, that's another thing that makes this shit believable. And aside from the videos, I went down some rabbit holes. That Pentagon Pizza Index, they said they're at DEFCON 5 right now. And if you don't believe me, you could just Google Pentagon Pizza Index and it will come up. Go to the website and you'll see. Mind you, this is Labor Day weekend. We all know. The president loves to speak and we haven't heard from him. They have things going on for the Labor Day weekend and he's not a part of it. That's what they're saying. I'm gonna just say this. Whatever is going on right now, they've been getting us ready for this shit for the last couple of months. They've been making us look left when we should have been looking right the whole entire time. Telling us something is coming in the next couple of months and things of that nature. Trust and believe, whatever is going on, whatever is about to happen, they already knew what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna say this. Protect your peace by any means necessary, because things can get crazy real fast. I mean, just jump down the timeline. Them deploying the military in different states and things of that nature. None of this shit add up. So again, we're dealing with the masters of illusion. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm out.
The whole process of cloud seeding and weather manipulation can fully be weaponized. And that's what the conspiracy is that all these big countries like China trying to learn the technology of weather manipulation, because you can't prove it's like, no, it's just the weather.
It's just random. Oh, we didn't. Well, that's so sad. We didn't know.
Okay, so I'm on the NOAA.gov site right now. They have a bar that says weather modification project reports, and in that it defines weather modification. So this is, if you're doing weather modification, you are required to report these ways, which means they exist. These aren't theories. This is from .gov. I'll just start with the banger. Using lasers or other sources of electromagnetic radiation, releasing electrically charged or radioactive particles or ions into the atmosphere, releasing aerosols, gas, liquids, weather modification. And the one that I thought was really crazy is it says applying shockwaves, sonic energy sources, or other explosive or acoustic sources to the atmosphere.
It's getting crazy how quickly we just move past things.
And I'm gonna take. So that's confirmed, bro. Weather manipulation is confirmed. That's crazy, man. That's on actually the .gov website. I wonder how many people even know that it exists.
Take you guys to one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive grocery store in the United States of America. So let's go check it out really quick.
Those prices looking like
a lot of just kind of small houses up on stilts because this is all tundra. The crazy part is it's only about 2:30 in the afternoon and it's almost dark out. There's a school bus in the village. All the kids are getting off school right now. And this is the Kupik Corporation, and this is also a grocery store right here. Let's go check it out.
what they're hitting on, bro. What these prices hitting on. We gotta know.
As you guys can see, it is not cheap to live out in the village up here. Everything you get is extremely expensive. You do get paid more if you can find a job, but it costs a lot to live out here.
As soon as I saw those prices, I'd have been like,
there's the playground there. Here's the school right there. The career fair is happening in the gymnasium back here, so that's where we're heading right now. Well, guys, back in the hotel room. Morning, guys. We're heading south. Back to Anchorage. We're almost back home, and that was a very successful trip. That is the most amount of people I've ever had road tests in the village, and a lot of people have their licenses now, which is really cool. That really helped out a lot of folks.
Seekers, would you live out there, man? That's a no for me, man. Those prices, I can't deal with that, man. $22 for some damn, what was it, for some cranberry juice? Nah. We out.
I don't think people are grasping how serious this is. Half of the world just stopped shipping packages to the US. This is deeper than just getting your Shein packages. That means medicine, parts to cars, materials that we need for warehouses to fully operate, things like your iPhone and many more. And now I'm hearing rumors that the store said the shelves could be empty because of this. And if y'all thought inflation was bad now, give it a couple weeks if this blockade does not stop. Them shelves gonna look real biblical, because what people don't understand is majority of everything that's in the US is imported from another country. If y'all don't get no imports, that means that the shelves is empty. And if the shelves is empty, the little things that are on the shelves, the price goes up. Drastic inflation. Let's all pray that what they saying on the news is capped. Because if they stopping shipments to the US, it's about to get biblical. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments of what y'all think about them stopping all shipment crates to the US in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom. Stay tuned.
Did y'all know wind is actually the effect of a powerful energy source? When y'all see wind being blown and tornadoes and storms happening, do y'all really think that that's happening for no reason? Is it just a natural cause or a natural disaster? This video is definitely going out to the air sign. Yeah, these blinds is closed. When you look up the definition of wind, it's moving air, caused by uneven heating of the earth by the sun. I mean, just think about it. Every single time in anime, when a person powers up, wind is just going crazy around them. It's the literal effect of energy. When I was in middle school, I even asked my teacher, well, how does wind blow? Something kinetically has to be moving in order for it to take that effect. He actually told me that wind comes from the cold areas of the North Pole and the South Pole. But you know, that didn't never make sense to me. Wind is actual energy. That's why it's used for electricity. Every time Storm powers up, she has electricity walking around her. That's why lightning happens when it storms. And it all has to come from a source. Someone, something, some being has to be conducting a powerful energy in order for this wind to happen and this fan to blow. And they have figured out how to transfer that wind into the benefit of their electricity and energy. Because they know when these storms happen, that's these beings on the other side powering up. Wind is a physical effect of energy around us. You ever heard somebody say, I don't like the feel of this wind? Something's about to happen? Because they can feel the energy of the wind that something is about to happen. There's a lot more going on with these thunderstorms, wind, and lightning. So when you see wind blowing, something is conducting energy, especially on the other side. So y'all stay dangerous.
How many people remember going outside watching children play this game called hopscotch? It looked real innocent, right? What if I told you there is no innocence in none of these games we played when we was children? This was all a ritual to set us up later on in life for the Matrix. The elites gave us games like this, and they took away real spiritual meaning. Remember, the program starts when you are a child. We were supposed to be learning about the body, personality, soul, and spirit, but they replaced sacred knowledge and gave us boxes with numbers in it. This game was dealing with the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. Remember, they tell you the truth because they had to, not because they want to. Karma is a real thing, and they can always say, we did tell them. Well, they told us in a demonic way. But this story go a little deep. Stay with me. I want people to pay close attention to the numbers they use for this game. It starts from 1 and end at 10. This is connected to the 1 and 0 matrix computer code. The reason why you can't see 0 in this game is because we represent the 0. The 1 and 0 represents life and death. This is also connected to another game we used to play called tic-tac-toe. You have the 0 and the X. The Roman numeral for X is 10 or 10. It put us in a box since we was children. Go to school and sit down at your square desk and follow directions on the blackboard. By the way, please think outside of the box. This is the box they are speaking about. So many people believe that rituals just look like this. This is only one form. This is another form. Everything goes back to this planet Saturn, which is the black cube, or Cronus eating its own children. That's why the programs start when we are children. This system is eating us alive. We are no longer learning about spirituality, the soul, the cosmos, the universe, God, ether. We are not learning about nothing important no more. Our consciousness is now trapped in a cube. They took our spirits and made them numbers and trapped us in a box. Corporations, schools, religions, everything goes back to the cube. These people that control everything look at us like we are squares. By definition, a square is someone that don't understand what's going on. And last time I checked, we are the squares because we don't understand what's going on. It's something they understand that we don't understand. And it goes back to this. If they can program you when you are young, they can actually mold and shape the future. Keep trying to tell people that we are the squares that's locked away in a prison. We are not free. Only so much I can say about this topic.
Y'all, I seen the sky look bad before, but I have never ever seen it look like this. Tell me why everyone in Brisbane, Australia was seeing this across the sky, y'all. And I mean everybody. And people were saying it felt like something was... Yo, check this out, y'all. This is crazy.
I want to show you the sky. I mean, talk about a grid. This is just crazy.
And then talk about how low the sky is, y'all. Look at the bird. The bird is literally eye level with the trees.
Well, look what we have again here in Brisbane. Look at these natural cloud forms. Wow, Mother Nature's amazing. Look at that.
I don't think that's natural, my guy.
Mother Nature at its finest. Looking at the sky almost wants to give me claustrophobia. Are you guys picking up on this? Are y'all feeling the same way? Cause look how low it is.
Australia were some of the most beautiful I've ever seen. But what's going on right now? Like,
y'all, look how low the sky is again, y'all.
There's a star point right here, and it's just like a...
Y'all see the hole punch clouds, and then it's rippling throughout the whole sky.
Throughout the whole of Brisbane, going that way.
So what's going on here, y'all? I thought the higher ups were taking care of this. Why are we still seeing in our skies? Even looking over here, y'all, it's a cloudy, gloomy day. And I told you everyone was seeing this. So my question is, right? This looks to be, a little bit. So people in Brisbane, Australia, how y'all feeling? I want to know how you guys are feeling after all of this. Anyone else who has ever seen this in their skies, how do you guys feel the next day, y'all? Let me know that in the comments below. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
Your body actually is.
Talk about
First off, 10% of people can touch their nose with their tongue, including me. Next, only 2% of people worldwide actually have natural blonde hair. And red hair is just as rare, with again only 2% of people actually having it. Only about 1% of people are ambidextrous. This means that you're not right-handed or left-handed. You can write with both hands just as easily.
Lucky.
Next, only 10% of people have something called Darwin's tubercle. A little ridge on your ear, and people who have it actually say that they have a better sense of voice tonality. 5% of people have tied tongue, but from what I've seen, I thought it was a lot more common. Next is outie belly button, and only 4% of the population actually has this. And finally, only 6% of people have a butt or cleft chin. and make sure you follow for more.
Pictures you have to look at twice to understand. This toothpaste looks like a nose. Yeah, I wouldn't use that. This person's fried egg ended up looking like a chickadee. Whoa. This girl looks like she has extremely skinny legs, but it's actually just her track pants. This magazine cover looks like this woman's face. Oof. It looks as if these people are on a really tall building, but if you turn the image sideways, they're actually just lying down. By the way, did you know you can customize the font on your phone to make it look like your handwriting? Just press this button on my profile and try it. Why do these steaks look like my runners? Now that's what you call fast food.
Really? Pictures tell a story, man.
What would you do in this situation? This girl was coming home from work when she found her neighbors doing this.
I don't know if I can visit Mexico.
What are they doing?
Why? Bro, they have the scariest urban legends.
For real?
Yeah, they got La Chuza, which is a shape-shifting witch that looks like an owl and is 7 feet tall with the face of a woman. And you're not supposed to go outside if you hear whistling in your window.
What else?
Oh, and La Llorona. She usually stays near bodies of water. She wears a white gown, long hair, and she's always crying for her children that she actually drowned. So you're next if you see her while driving on the side of the road.
Oh my god.
There's like this abandoned Disney park in Veracruz, Mexico.
What about it?
It has a statue that moves at night. There was 2 people exploring the abandoned park and caught it on video. Fam, you gotta check this out.
No, aguanta, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien. Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey, eso no se
Dog locked in.
No digas perras mamadas, no digas mamadas. Güey, es que era el vestido también así, güey. Amarillo.
And it's static, frozen. I'm good on Mexico.
But they do have beautiful women.
You're right. We might have to risk it.
Oh, really? Well, Kid Visa, the dog was locked in, man, watching the clips, bro. Even the dog, man, is seeking the
This
truth,
is
too.
the ugliest woman in the whole world. That is the sad, unofficial title this woman received in the 1900s. Her name is Maryanne Beavenon, and this is her story. She was born in London in 1874 to a middle-class family, and in 1894 she became a nurse. She married Thomas Beavenon in 1903, but only 3 years later she was struck by a rare disease that doctors didn't know much about. The hormonal disease is known as acromegaly, which affects the bones. This causes the bones to grow 2 to 3 times more than normal, and usually only affects the hands and feet. But her case was severe, and it affected her whole body. As you can tell by the photos, her appearance changed drastically in just a few years. Her husband, although confused about what was happening to his wife, stuck by her side until he tragically died of a stroke in 1914, and she was left to raise 4 children alone. Her disease even caused her to lose her job, but she was determined to do what she had to for her children. She was forced by her predicament to join a contest, which was the ugliest woman in the world, where she won first prize. The media would pay her small amounts to take photos and write horror stories about her. Honestly, she should have won Best Mother in the World award for doing all this for her children. Due to all the media attention, she was actually invited to work at the Dreamland Circus on Coney Island in 1920. For 13 years, she worked in the freak show business, suffering being called a monster, a freak, being beaten up, all to watch her children grow. On December 26, 1933, she died of natural causes.
Hey, man, like you said, they called her the world's ugliest woman, man. She was the world's best mother, man, from what I was hearing. She did all that for her kids. The world, man, can be a cruel place sometimes. You know, everybody's beautiful in their own ways. Just can't look at the looks, man. You gotta look inside.
How rare is your body? Less than 6% of people can vibrate their eyes. I didn't even know that was possible. 33% of people have an astigmatism. This makes lights look blurry and fuzzy, just like this photo. And 60% of people can make a roaring noise with their jaw. They can control a muscle that most people can't. And 14% of people don't have a palmaris longus. And that's the muscle that sticks out like this when you flex your hand. And only 33% of people can whistle. I can you? And less than 3% of people have an X on both of their palms. Go look at your palms right now. Do you have them? It's said to be a sign of strong character. And only 11% of people have naturally curly hair. Is this you?
Scary things hidden in photos.
Yeah, me.
Urban
True Legends That Ended Up Being Real, Part 20.
Crazy.
Escalante Petrified Forest. It's known for its ancient, fossilized trees and otherworldly landscapes, and the park actually attracts visitors from around the world. But those who visit are often warned of a chilling curse that is said to happen to anyone who dares to take pieces of petrified wood from the forest. There have been letters sent to the park's rangers that tell stories of broken lives, sickness, accidents, and relentless bad luck, all because of taking pieces of petrified wood. In these letters, desperate people beg for forgiveness, hoping that returning the stolen fragments will lift the curse. One chilling story comes from a man named Daniel, who visited the Escalante Petrified Forest in 2015. Ignoring the warnings, he pocketed a small piece of petrified wood as a keepsake. Soon after returning home, his life took a dark turn. Within weeks, he lost his job, his car was totaled in an accident, and he was plagued by strange noises at night, scratching sounds, whispers, and the feeling of being watched. Desperate to end the torment, Daniel mailed the wood back to the park along with a letter pleading for forgiveness. He swore as soon as the package was sent, the strange occurrences stopped happening.
This teen and her boyfriend murdered her father because he didn't approve of their relationship. 16-year-old Sierra Halseth and 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero started dating in June 2020 to December 2020 until Sierra's father found out that the two wanted to run away to LA, so he told Sierra to stop seeing Aaron. Obviously, Sierra and Aaron were not too happy about this, and on April 2021, the couple decided to murder Sierra's father, Daniel Halseth. On this day, Sierra and Aaron stabbed Daniel 70 times and then left his body in his garage to burn. They then stole Daniel's car and withdrew hundreds of dollars from his bank account. They tried to run away together but then were caught by authorities 4 days later at a train station in Salt Lake City. And what's chilling is the video evidence that police found on Sierra's phone of both of them laughing about murdering Sierra's father.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After your dream, day 3 after marrying somebody.
The teens claim that Sierra's father mistreated her and that's why they did what they did. But her family says that that's a lie and that she did this because she wanted to be with Aaron and her father didn't let her. But eventually they pleaded guilty and were sentenced to life in prison with a possibility of parole in 22 years.
Man, the things love will do, bro, will like twist your mind and make you do unthinkable things. And they put that on camera and they was laughing too. What has this world come to, Seekers, man? Think before you act.
The man you just saw in that video was Andrew McAuley. Before he disappeared, Andrew was a pretty well-known mountaineer and kayaker. In his life, Andrew fell in love with the sport of kayaking, and he became very well known in the sea kayaking community because he would set off solo on his small kayak and travel great distances across the ocean. But his biggest goal in life and challenge was to cross the Tasman Sea. Andrew made his first attempt to cross the Tasman Sea in December of 2006. But he called it off after one night when he discovered that he was having trouble staying warm while sleeping in the kayak overnight. But on January 11th, 2007, he wanted to try again. But it was during this voyage that he would vanish into thin air. So he set off on January 11th, but on February 9th, Andrew sent out a distress call. In this call, he said, "Do you copy? This is Kayak 1. Do you copy? Over. I've got an emergency situation. I'm in a kayak about 30 kilometers from Milford Sound. I need a rescue. My kayak's sinking, fell off into the sea, and I'm going down."
Oh.
It's really eerie because if you search Andrew's name, a couple of blog posts pop up that people made in the days after he was declared missing, with headlines that read along the lines of, "Let's hope he is all right." Andrew's partly flooded kayak was discovered on February 10th floating in the sea, but Andrew was never found. Eerily, his camera was still left in the kayak, along with the memory stick that chronicled his journey up until the time that he went missing. That's what the recordings from the beginning of this TikTok were taken from. To this day, nobody knows exactly what happened to Andrew. There are theories about killer waves that came out of nowhere, but his body's never been recovered, and no trace of him, no bones, no clothing has ever been found.
Here are some things that look like food, but sadly are not. Now make sure you don't eat this popcorn because they're actually tiny rocks and that could break your teeth. And no, these are not jelly beans. these are also rocks. And don't be fooled by this one, that is not orange juice. I'm sure you can take a guess what it is. And don't eat this raspberry or you'll be going straight to the hospital. It's actually a poisonous bug. And no, they're not noodles, they're actually rubber bands. I can't be the only one who thought this was a piece of broccoli. A nice baguette. Just kidding, that's a cat. And this person took a bite out of this clay thinking it was chocolate. Ew.
Crazy facts you
Whoa,
won't believe.
what the heck?
Humans share 50% of their DNA with bananas. There's a planet made of diamonds in our galaxy. There's more stars in the universe than grains of sand on every place in Earth. Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. Imagine having facts like this delivered to you every day. I found this app called Nibble, and it's a great way to dive into quick, fun lessons on any topic you can imagine. From art to science to finance, Nibble's got it all covered in bite-sized lessons. With Nibble's 10-minute interactive lessons, you'll learn much faster. It's like my personal knowledge hack I use to learn things quickly. So if you want to learn things fast, try out Nibble today and learn in a different way.
Because of this case, I absolutely fear getting onto public transit. In 2008, Vince Lee beheaded 22-year-old Timothy McLean on a Greyhound bus in Manitoba, Canada. This all happened on July 30th of that year when Vince sat next to Tim on the bus from Winnipeg to Edmonton when Vince pulled out a knife and began repeatedly stabbing Tim. The bus driver and passengers ran out of the bus, called police, and watched as Vince decapitated, mutilated, and cannibalized Tim. When the police arrived, it took 5 hours to negotiate with Vince, and they eventually arrested him when he tried to escape from the bus. The crazy part about this case is that Vince was not held responsible for Tim's murder. He was first charged with second-degree murder, but he pleaded not guilty because he suffered from schizophrenia. Vince said that he heard voices in his head that told him that Tim was evil and he should be executed. The judge ordered Vince to be sent to a psychiatric facility and he was released in 2017. He now lives in Manitoba and has changed his name to Will Lee Baker. And the public was pretty upset about this because they feared that if he decided to stop taking his meds one day, will he attack again?
I ain't taking greyhounds. I'm gonna have to cross that off the list, but we're gonna be extra careful. He got away. He got off too.
Top 5 most expensive houses in the world. Fort Belfield Pond, USA, $248 million. The Odeon Tower Penthouse, Monaco, $330 million. Villa Leopolda, France, $750 million. Antillia, India, $1 billion. Buckingham Palace, UK, $2.9 billion. We might not own these mansions, but what if you could clear up everything in your living room and start fresh in seconds? Let me show you the magic of Color.ai. You just upload a picture of your living room, click generate and watch the AI work its magic. And boom, your room is completely cleared and ready with a fresh and amazing new look. And just like that, in minutes you have a completely transformed space without lifting a single piece of furniture. Perfect for someone who's moving into a new space or home sellers who don't have a budget for a real staging service. Want to see how your home can be transformed? Try Color.ai and try your dream space today. Link in my bio.
Worst design fails ever.
Okay.
Someone didn't want to sell a piece of their land to the city, which is why this road looks like this. This part of the ceiling comes down low and it looks really awkward. I would not want to use this toilet. It's a tight squeeze. Okay, someone literally cut out a huge part of this floor just so the door can open. What is going on here? This side of the gas pump has never been used, probably because there's no room for any car except maybe a motorcycle. Hit the plus for more.
That motorcycle one, bro, it's crazy. Why did they? You could make it like that. That's definitely a design flaw. And the one with the carpet, swinging out. But having to cut the carpet, that's extreme, bro. Just change the door or something bad. That's an edit. We can see that. And spending two.
Band Kiss was born half deaf with level 3 microtia, leaving him without an ear canal in his right ear. In 2005, Doug Heckman read the EULA before he installed some PC software. The agreement included a clause offering financial compensation to licensees who actually read the license agreement. He emailed the company and the company sent him a check for $1,000.
5 facts you didn't know that one day could save your life. If your car ever falls into a body of water, the first thing you have to do is crack open a window or door. If you don't do this, the water pressure on your car will be too great and you'll be effectively boxed inside your car. You'll have to wait for your car to fully fill with water before you can get out. Next, if you're trapped in rubble, do not scream. Screaming will only strain your vocal cords and cause you to lose your voice. What you're going to want to do is grab an object and tap in intervals of 3. Rescuers will pick up on this auditory rhythm, and once you hear them coming closer to you, then you can start screaming and they'll find you. If you see a tornado that looks like it's not moving, it's coming towards you, so you better run. If you ever get into an Uber, always check the child lock. Make sure it's set to unlock, because if the child lock is on, you're stuck in the car with no way out. Finally, if you ever fall onto the tracks at a subway station, don't waste your time trying to climb back out. They actually have crawl spaces built into the subway tracks that you can hide in until rescuers come and safely extract you.
That Uber fact, man, it just got to me. I think I've gotten to a couple of Ubers and they had the child lock on, and I didn't even think too much about it. Now I'm about to be on my P's and Q's now.
Months back, I went to a film festival and I watched a movie that I can't stop thinking about, and the release date is so soon. It's been in my top horror movies of 2024, and I have a little sneak peek, and I can't wait for you guys to see.
The door. What do you want? You're in trouble. I saw you come out of the house just now. You went to the car to get something. You left this door open behind you. Somebody went inside. What? I saw you go to your car and you left the door open. Somebody slipped inside. They're in there now. I didn't see anyone. I know that. Your back was turned. What are you doing standing outside my house? Just open the door. I'm trying to help you.
You opening that door? Risky choice.
He sat grinning on national television, pleading for his wife to come home. He was the one who had murdered her and dismembered her body. Some people felt sorry for 25-year-old Mitchell Key as he sat on the sofa on the This Morning TV show. He was being interviewed by Richard Madeley and really scrutinised. He was asked by Richard Madeley, "Did you kill her?" Mitchell, grinning, replied, No, I just wish someone would listen to me." Some eagle-eyed viewers couldn't help but to think that something was off with this so-called grieving husband. Lindsay and Mitchell from Southport had got married in 1995. Lindsay was just 17 years old at the time. Now, the pair went on to have 2 children together, and Lindsay was a great mum. Despite things seeming normal to the outside world, behind closed doors, Mitchell was a violent man. Lindsay had even got the courage to leave Mitchell a number of times and seek help from a women's domestic violence support service. However, Mitchell was extremely intimidating and manipulative. The pair ended up back together, and then around Christmas 1998, the mother of 2 vanished. It would take an entire 2 months before she was actually reported missing, and this wasn't by her husband. Social services had to get police involved. Suddenly, Mitchell was under the spotlight, and police were questioning him about the last time he'd seen his wife. He claimed he hadn't seen her since Christmas Day. He told them that she'd just upped and left him without any consideration for their children. This really didn't fit what Lindsay's friends and family knew of her. He painted this sob story of himself being a victim, and he also told the press, "I thought she would have come back for the kids, but she obviously does not care about us anymore." He knew this was a vicious lie. He even went as far as to concoct a story to authorities that he'd once seen her in a black Mercedes in Southport, and she'd sent him a letter saying that she'd run off with another man. The police knew that Mitchell was extremely suspicious. He was seen kind of grinning and didn't seem to be acting the way that you actually would if your wife had vanished. They had no way, though, to prove that he was involved in his wife's disappearance. Over the next 18 months, Mitchell almost went on this strange publicity spree, going on different TV shows talking about the case. It seemed like he was enjoying the attention and goading police. Now, Mitchell sent one police officer a Christmas card with a bottle of hair dye as a gift. He put on the card, "Get rid of the grey bits to have extra confidence." Mitchell even allowed a documentary crew to follow him around filming to create some sort of show. Ultimately, police realised that they were going to have to interrogate Mitchell. They ended up arresting him, and after a couple of days of interrogation, he ended up admitting to the hideous crime. He'd callously and brutally strangled his wife to death. This was after they got in an argument because Lindsay said she wanted a divorce. Once she was dead, he hid her body in a bedroom and covered the cracks in the door so that her children wouldn't smell the body. Chillingly, Mitchell had actually convinced his butcher brother Elliot to help him dismember her body. Mitchell then scattered her body parts over various parts of the seaside town. Elliot was given 7 years in prison but only spent 4 years behind bars. Mitchell was given 17 years and has applied for parole numerous times, but this has always been denied.
As it should be, man. He was goading the police. Imagine doing a crime, bro, freaking goading the police, man. Just trying to send little stuff like that. Saying nah, you can't catch me. You will get caught in the end, bro. Karma will. It comes around. Seekers, that's it for this video for you guys today. If you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Make sure to comment down below. Hit that thumbs up button. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.